In this class, we will discuss about question number 6, exercise 9.1, some applications of trigonometry. So what about this question? Observe a 1.5 meter tall boy is standing at some distance from a 30-meter tall building. We are having one boy and one building. Height of a building is what? In the question we are having in the first sentence, what is given? A 1.5 meter tall boy. The height of the boy is what? 1.5 meter. So how we will draw the diagram of this question? So one is what? One height of a boy is given and height of a building is given. Clear? So I am drawing this. CD is what? Height of. This is the base and boy is standing at the point C, and CD is showing what? Height of a boy, and that is what? 1.5 meter. What is the height? 1.5 meter. Clear? Now boy is standing at some distance from a 30 meter. Boy is standing where? Some distance. Clear? From a 30 meter tall building. Height of a building is what? 30 meter. This is the A to B. AB is what? One building, and its height is what? 30 meter. Clear? At the some distance, one boy is standing and CD is boy, and its height is what? 1.5 meter. Clear? Now after this sentence, next sentence is what? The angle of elevation. Now we studied already angle of elevation. What is the meaning of the angle of elevation? Once raise head, once we raise head, then our line of sight, once we raising our head, line of sight making angle with horizontal, that angle is what? Angle of elevation. Observe again, what is the angle of elevation? Once our head is raising, once we raise our head, I am raising my head is this, my eyes are level is this one. Once I raising my head and I am watching some top position, it means raising line of sight of eyes, line of sight of eyes with horizontal line making a one angle, that is angle is what? Angle of elevation. Clear? So one boy, height of that boy is what? 1.5 meter. Its line of sight or angle of elevation, its line of sight, this is the base, straight line, its line of sight is level is this one. But once this boy raising eyes, raising head, it means line of sight will be changed. Then that line of sight making angle with this level will be what? 30 degree. The angle of elevation from his eyes, angle of elevation from his eyes to the top of the building. We want to this height of this building is with what is this height of this building? 30 meter. One boy is standing some distance from this building, and CD is boy, and this boy want to observe top of this building. Obviously this boy is raising head and line of sight of his eyes making angle what? With this base 30 degree. With this base boy's eyes horizontal line is this one, but at that point once that this boy raising eyes making angle what? 30 degree. Clear? So what we can say? The angle of elevation from his eyes to the top of the building increases what? Increases from 30 degree to 60 degree as he walks towards the building. What is this one? First boy is standing at the point C, and angle of elevation from his eyes to the from his eyes to the top of the building is what? 30 degree. Now this boy is walking. What? This is the base, this is the surface, this is the surface. This boy, what is doing? Walking towards the building. First boy is there with some distance, but now after 30 degree, that time its angle of elevation. Angle of elevation means once we raising our head, then angle with angle, then angle raising head, we observing that point, then making angle with this base will be what? Angle of elevation. Now this boy walking towards the building, what is doing? Walking towards the building at some distance, let this point. This boy walking towards the building and reached at the point E, and that time boy's angle of elevation, what? Boy's angle of elevation, again boy reached that point and observing top of this building, then making angle what? 60 degree. Clear? Now that time 30 degree. After sometimes once boy walking towards the building, at the point boy's angle of elevation is what? Increased from 30 degree to 60 degree. Clear? This is the meaning of this sentence. Find the distance he walked towards the building. What we want to find? We want to find distance he walked towards the building. First time boy standing at that point. Standing where? At that point. Then angle of elevation is 30 degree. Boy walking towards the building reached at point E, and angle of elevation increased from 30 degree to 60 degree. It means boy what distance covered? Boy traveled what? X distance. We assumed D to E. This distance is what? This boy traveled X distance. Then he reached at the point E. We want to find this X distance. So how we will find this one? Observe. Again I am recalling. Easy question. Understand this one. Question is saying one boy, height of that boy is what? 1.5 meter. We are having one building and height of the building is what? 30 meter. Clear? Boy is standing some distance from the building and making angle of elevation. Angle of elevation means once boy raising head and observing top of this building, then angle is what? Angle of eyes with this normal position, that is the 30 degree. That boy walks towards the building, traveled X distance we assumed, and reached at a point E, and making angle is what? 60 degree. Clear? We want to find the distance traveled by the boy from the initial position to this position. This distance we want. So first we should know height of this boy is what? 1.5 meter. This angle of elevations we are considering from the line of sight, from the eyes position. This is the level of eyes. Once we raising eyes, or we can say raising head, then eyes making this level angle is what? Angle of elevation. It means boy's height will be what? 1.5 will be reduced from this building height. So we are having 30 meter height of the building. Boy's height is 1.5 meter. This will be reduced from this one, then we are getting 30 minus 1.5 meter will be what? 28.5 meter. It means we want this distance, and how we will find? Once we reduce this one, then we are getting this B to F distance we require. Why? Because we are having angle of elevation, or angle of elevation how we will find? At the position of eyes level, or what? Once we observing top position, then making angle, that is what? Angle of elevation. Clear? So no use of this height of the buoy. Clear? We require this level, no use of this level. So we require this level. These angles 30 degree or 60 degree are what? Angles or angles of elevations, and these are how we are getting from horizontal level to what? Once we raising head, then line of sight of raising head with horizontal level of eyes, making angle of elevation. So no use of this height. So we reduce this height from the 30 meter. It means we will consider B2F, and that is what? 28.5 meter. Clear? Now we require this one. So how we will obtain this distance? So first we will consider this angle BDF in triangle, or this is a right triangle. BDF is what? Right triangle. In this triangle BDF, tangent 30. Why we are using tangent 30? Because we are having, this is the acute angle, and opposite of acute angle will be what? Perpendicular. This will be what? Perpendicular. And this will be what? Opposite of this 30 degree. It is an acute angle. Its opposite side will be perpendicular, and its adjacent side will be what? Base. And this will be what? Hypotenuse. Clear? So we are having perpendicular and one angle, so we can find trigonometric ratios, but we require base, so we will use perpendicular upon base will be what? Tangent theta. So we use tangent theta equal to perpendicular upon base. So tangent 30 can be written as what? This side, this is what? Perpendicular. BF divided of base. Base is what? DF. BF upon DF will be what? Tangent 30. I hope you understand this thing. Clear? Tangent theta will be BF upon DF. So what we can say? We will put the values. Tangent 30 will be what? Square 1 upon square root of 3. Clear? B2F will be what? Reduced height of the building. Once we remove 1.5 meter height of a buoy, then we are getting 28.5. So this will be 28.5 meter divided of what? DF. And DF can be written as what? We assumed DE. DE is the X, and E to F will be what? E to F will be Y. Then DF can be written as X plus Y. So what we can say? X plus Y will be equal to 28.5 into square root of 3. And I am putting this as a equation number 1. Clear? So this will be our first equation. Now first we consider this triangle, this right triangle BDF, and by using tangent theta we are getting the values of the base. Clear? Why we are using tangent theta? Because we are having perpendicular, opposite of this one will be perpendicular, and base we are having. So which we will be use what? Tangent theta. Then we are getting this equation. Clear? Now in the one angle also we are having this one 60 degree. Once boy travel towards the building and reached at the point this one, and making the angle of elevation is what? 60 degree. So for this triangle, so what is this one? Right triangle. This is also what? Right triangle. So in the right triangle BEF, again we are having one theta and perpendicular, its opposite side will be perpendicular, and it will be what? Base. Clear? So what we can say? Tangent 60 will be BF upon EF. Why? Because its opposite side will be perpendicular, this one BF, and its base will be what? EF. Clear? Write the values. Tangent 60 will be square root of 3. Clear? And BF is what? 28.5 meter, and EF is what? We assumed EF is what? Y. So I am writing Y. Clear? So once we solve, what we are getting, Y will be equal to 28.5 upon square root of 3 meter. This is what? Equation number 2. Now we are having two equation. Equation number 1, in which we are having x and y, two variables, but in the equation number 2 we are having values of the y. Clear? Values of the y, it means what? We obtain the distance from this point to this one, and this will be what? This one. Once we put this value from equation 2 to 1, then we can obtain what? Value of x. So putting value of y from equation 2 to 1, then what we are getting? X plus, what is the value? 28.5 upon square root of 3 equal to 28.5 into square root of 3. Clear? Now transpose this one, then what will be the value? X equal to 28.5 square root of 3 minus 28.5 upon square root of 3. Clear? Solve this one. Once we solve, what we are getting? Observe. What we can say? X will be equal to 28.5 will be common in both terms. So we can say 28.5 into square root of 3, remaining is square root of 3 minus 1 upon square root of 3. Now take LCM. 28.5 into LCM will be what? Square root of 3. Now its denominator part will be what? 1. This divided by this one, we are getting square root of 3, and square root of 3 will be multiplied by numerator, then square root of 3 into square root of 3. What will be the answer? 3. Minus this divided of this one, 1 we are getting multiplied by numerator. What we are having? We are having 1. So what will be the values of x? X will be 28.5 into 2 upon square root of 3. Clear? But in the denominator part we are having radical sign. So whenever we are having radical sign in the denominator, we will do what? Rationalization. So we will multiply this numerator and denominator by this one, square root of 3. Clear? Then what we are getting? 28.5 into 2 into square root of 3 divided of multiplication of both will be what? 3. So what we are getting? This is going one time, and this will be what? How many times it is going? 28. 28 will be what? 8 plus 2 10, and 10 plus 5 15, and 15 will be having what in the table of 3. So we can divide by 3. So one time it is going, then 9 3 ja 27, 1 is remaining, point will be there, what point will be there, then 1 will be there, 15. How many times going? 5 3 ja 15, 9.5. So what we can say? 9.5 into 2 into square root of 3. So what will be its multiplication? 9.5 multiplied by 3. So we can say what? Solve this one, no problem. This one we removed the point, one time it is going, 5 time it is going. So what we can say? Now divide by 5, one time, 4 is remaining. So 4 is remaining, it means what? 45 divided by 5, it means 9 5 ja 45, 19 times it is going. So what we can say? 19 square root of 3 meter will be the distance traveled by the boy from initial position to this position. Clear? This will be what? Answer. 19 square root of 3 meter will be the answer. Observe again what we are doing in this question. Simple question. In the question we are having one boy and height of that boy is what? 1.5 meter. Boy, he is standing. This boy is standing at some distance of building, and the height of building is what? 30 meter. So what we can say? Boy standing some distance, height is this one, and we are having height of building is this one, 30 meter. But in the next sentence we are having angle of elevation from his eyes. The boy of the building increases from 30 degree to 60 degree. Now angle of elevation from his eyes, so angle of elevation from his eyes, it means eyes will be there and making angle of elevation 30 degree at that point, and after some time he travel towards the building and reach that point, and making angle of elevation from his eyes will be what? Increased by 60 degree, increased 30 degree to 60 degree. Clear? That time angle of elevation is 30 degree, and that time angle of elevation from his eyes will be what? 60 degree. So first we will remove that height, and it means what? Height of boy is 1.5 from this building height. Then we are getting this will be what? Height of this building from this level. Clear? Then we will consider first this triangle. We are having one angle and this height. We will obtain base, and this will be in the form of one equation. Why? Because we assumed this as a x and this will be as a y. Then we are getting equation number 1. Once we take this right triangle, again we will we are having one angle and one side. We will use we are having perpendicular and base. We want base, so we will use tangent theta. We are solving, then we are getting one value, and we are getting the base of this triangle. Clear? Then this value we are putting in this equation, then we are getting the value of x. Value of x we are getting. Clear? And x1 is what? X is what? This one. But after rationalization we are getting x value will be what? 19 square root of 3 meter. So what we can say? Distance boy walked towards the building is what? 19 into square root of 3 meter. That will be what? Answer. I hope you understand this question. That's all about this question. Thank you so much.